Hello, everyone, and welcome. This is Margarita from the Centro Colombo Americana Bucaramanga. Our whole team, Elena Arenas, the cultural director, Rosabel, Diego, and myself, are very honored to have here with us Ana Mosseri. The artist Ana Mosseri is presenting her new exhibition, Perenne, at the Centro Colombo Americana Bucaramanga. This exhibition is inspired by the majesty of the magnolia tree and the eternal cycle of nature. The exhibition includes digital drawings and oil paintings, and it invites viewers to contemplate the perennial beauty of life. The exhibition includes a series of drawings made in iPad and enlarged in half a sheet along with oil paintings, in a total of 7 works in oil and between 12 and 14 digital drawings. So thank you, Ana, for joining us today. How are you doing?
Hello, I'm fine. Thank you. And thanks for inviting me to this artist talk.
Thank you for your time here. I just wanted to start by talking about how did you got involved with art? How did everything started for you?
I got involved with art because I didn't want to be involved with art. I'm the daughter of an artist, and I didn't want to become an artist. But when you're surrounded by the art world and you grow up in such an environment, you even if you don't want to, you end up doing art because it's something that's there and it's a constant in your life.
So this started for you from when you were very little, and when did you decided you wanted to pursue art as a career?
I didn't study art. I studied at Universidad de los Andes. I took some art courses. I wanted to become an architect or something close, but not an artist. And then I studied marketing, involved with design and art. I also like the art market a lot, but I ended up taking and going to study at Parsons School of Design and start taking printmaking classes that I enjoyed so much. And I wanted to become a printmaker before becoming an artist. And I came back to Colombia. It was harder to do printmaking if you didn't have the machines, the printing presses. And so my mother started teaching me to paint. And I started painting and learning all the techniques. And that's how I started becoming an artist.
So this was around what time?
I was around 25 years old. And I started doing a series of portraits of friends just because I couldn't do printmaking. But then I started painting and never stopped. I enjoyed it a lot.
That's awesome. And so you fall in love first with printmaking and then you transition into painting.
Yes, I still love printmaking. I think if I could have a workshop, my own, I would love it. I like all the techniques that involve making art.
Yeah. Yeah, and it's kind of difficult today. There are not a lot of spaces where you can learn, or studios where you can learn or you can expand on that technique here, but the ones that are available are, I think, great. I'm also an enthusiast of printmaking, but when I had the opportunity to do it was, of course, at the university where you have everything available. But yeah, I think it's not that easy, or it's a bit complicated, but I share that passion with you. So when you started with painting, it was because of your mom. You got like this big connection with art because of her.
Yes. We have a close relationship with the art world in New York. I think that's where she got all her inspiration. And even though my style and is not similar to hers, I think we share the fact that we are both involved by American artists. So I was surrounded by a lot of painting when painting was not alive anymore, but I saw that Alex Katz and David Hockney were still doing painting, and especially figurative painting. And so I came back with the idea of painting what I saw.
That's great. And do they have like a big influence in your work, or?
Absolutely. I think all the landscape painters have a great influence. I mean, and American art, especially from the 20th century,
Yeah.
maintained the landscape painting as a way of doing paint, not only abstract, but
Yeah.
and then there is this book about landscape painting called Landscape Painting Now, that I think is showing that now there is a movement going on around landscape.
That's great. What would you say is the relationship of what you are doing at the very early stages of your life and your work and working methods now?
I think I started doing cityscapes more than landscapes. And now I'm doing more landscapes, but I think there is a constant in the fact that I always paint what I see because of what I'm living. And it's always my surroundings and the places and the people that I live with, my dogs, my daughters, my surroundings.
You get a lot of inspiration for what surrounds you. And so this exhibition, Perenne, starts with a tree you see daily?
Yes. I fell in love during the pandemic with the Central Park in New York. So I had the opportunity to spend a lot of time there. And I had the opportunity to see the cherry blossoms, when that I had never been able to see, because you have to be there in a certain time, and if you're not there, and then I was very lucky because I was able to see this magnolia tree in blooming with the flowers of the spring, and then I fell in love with the tree, and I kept visiting the tree in different times of the year. So I wanted to see the tree in the winter, I wanted to see the tree in the fall, and also in the summer. But then some is real, some is fiction, because I just made up the colors of the fall because I see that the I had also made another series of trees that are liquidambars, and liquidambars have sometimes yellow leaves and sometimes red leaves. So I also wanted to involve that experience. So that's why I did the orange, the yellow, and the red tree.
And this is a process that took about like 2 years?
Yes, more or less 2 years. And I'm gonna keep going to see the tree. I'm never gonna stop going back to see the tree.
That's beautiful. And is it very far away from where you live?
No, it's very close. So
Great.
that's why I'm lucky, because I take walks every day and I go and see the tree.
Mm. And Anna, how would you describe your work?
My work is especially, I mean, since I have been doing painting and I also fell in love with painting, I experiment. Also because I was a painting teacher, and all the things that I taught, I wanted to put in practice. So part of my work is just doing the exercises that I gave my students.
That's awesome. And for how long were you a teacher?
I was a teacher for 6 years.
Mm-hmm. Oh, that's awesome. And could you share a little bit about how your creative process works? Like, how do you approach each painting or drawing?
I have to start by taking pictures. So I take photographs, and then I do line drawings, which then I have to convert them into color fields. And that's why the iPad is a very useful tool, because before the iPad, I used to do them in gouache or watercolor. And once I have this color study and field study, I start preparing the surfaces, because I have to paint over different surfaces. I prepare the canvas with different gessos. And after that, I decide what color goes behind, what color goes in front, because it's a lot about the vibration of colors. And I also play with lights and shades, but in the simplest possible form. So here in the tree series, in the Perenne, it's about simplifying the image, but still keeping the color fields and the sense of light and shade.
Yeah, I see light takes like a big role in your paintings, and it's like such a beautiful way to present something you love, right? Like it appears to be like this poem for life or light even.
I think that if you love seeing what you are going to see, and you can transmit it in the sense of what you feel, that's a good way of trying to pursue, I mean, like art in general.
Yeah, totally agree. And you always you do like this investigation about the subject, the thing you love to see, and you start with sketches, you go through a lot of mediums, you do everything yourself, and then what are we going to see in Perenne?
The creative process and the techniques are mine, but there is also something very useful for an artist, that is when you have a curator guiding you, like Camilo Chico did, and he understands your work, and he makes you conceptualize more in depth about not only the physical aspects, but we went further in seeing which tree it was, how the tree lives and behaves. And then we had conversations about nature in general, about how nature is always there, and you can go back to it and it never changes, even if it changes. And all these conversations we had, I think, made the work more valuable, and also the way he disposed the work in the space, and advised me to do a video. I think what a curator can add to the work is very valuable.
Yeah, it's very important. And did you have his company throughout like the whole years, or was it very something more recent?
I think I had his company for about a year, and we had conversations, and he made me go back even more to film the tree. And I also had a prior exhibition with him that involved the same subject of color and fields. So we had been talking about the same thing before.
Okay. And is this the first time that you are exhibiting Perenne?
Yes, this is the first time. The pink tree made part of another series called Cherry Blossoms, but the rest of the trees and the whole series of Perenne, yeah, it's the first time I exhibit.
That's awesome. And I see you have the chance to do like, some workshops at the Centro Colombo Americano.
Yeah,
That's right.
there is a storybook like for children that I also did for the show, and it's like the catalog of the show that will be at the Colombo for the kids to go to the workshops.
Oh, that's great. Anna, in what way has art transformed your life or painting?
I tend to say that I'm not an artist but a painter. I think there is a difference. And I think painting and the enjoying paint, not only my doing painting but seeing paintings is the purpose of my life in a way. Also because I live surrounded by my mother's work, who is also a painter, and in general visiting shows of artists that do paintings. I was very happy with this show because it's like one of those shows that I go and enjoy seeing, and then I went to a show that it's so well hung that I enjoyed it, and I am very thankful to Camilo because he did a very good job.
That's great, and the exposure you have to art in general, to be able to see a lot of workshops, a lot of work of different people, a lot of very different techniques. That's very enriching for an artist or a painter, as you say. I also believe there's a distinction between being called an artist and a painter, but that just speaks for of your love of the images and painting itself. Um, do you have any artist rituals? Like, do you need, for example, to be quiet to be able to start painting, or to have, I don't know, like, are you very organized or are you not?
I have to start by preparing the surfaces so that I can like warm up and not have the compromise with the image. While I think I have to think the image first in order to be able to paint it. It's not something that is accidental, but it's something that it's very well thought before doing the painting. And then I will go into the studio when I have decided what I am going to do each day, because you have to paint areas of the canvas. And I have to start and finish the job in the day that I have planned for that specific area. So yeah, it's something that you have to plan ahead, but it happens, and you can do it.
And for example, how long does each oil painting take?
I don't do paintings in themselves. I do series. So for example, doing this series took about 2 months.
Oh, wow. So the painting process was more recent, or?
It was close to the opening. I mean, because I also had other things to do, and I took a while doing the drawings. The drawings also take a lot of time because you have to do them before, so you decide how the painting is going to look like. And I think this process took about a year.
Okay, so all the pre-painting took about a year, and all the investigation, and you, when you get to the canvas, you already know exactly
Yeah, it's totally predictable. I have absolutely decided what I'm going to do in the canvas.
And you don't sketch on the canvas, just
paint. Yeah, no, my paintings have had a process before, and they are not random. I don't decide what I do on the, I mean, I don't sketch on the paint on the canvas.
yeah. That's curious. So Anna, what would you recommend to someone who is starting and maybe aspires to live of their art?
It's not an easy thing to do. You need to do something else, but because art, if you have something else to do that is profitable, you can do more art. Some artists become very famous and their works become more valuable, and then they are able to live of art, but you have to be patient because it doesn't necessarily happen.
Yeah, it's not that common.
No.
From this series, Perenne, what would you say are your favorite pieces? Do you have any favorite pieces or?
I have favorite pieces, but they change every week.
That's so great, Anna. I don't know if there's anything else you'd like to share with us today.
I think that whoever wants to start painting should do it, and sometimes people are afraid because what you want to do doesn't happen. You have to learn the technique, but you have to be patient, and it takes time, but you can enjoy it very much.
Yeah, it's not at all an easy process, and you have to be committed to and to love what you do above all, I think.
Yes, absolutely.
So thank you very much, Anna, for your time and your kindness. Thank you, everyone who joined us today. You can visit Perenne at the Centro Colombo Americana, Bucaramanga.
Thank you for inviting me and for letting me talk about the show.